Hey miniature lovers, J-Star here, and today I've got a miniature makeover.
So last night I came across this little bed in my stash and I'd forgotten I had it. I don't even know where I got it. It's kind of, I guess, cheaply made. I hate to say that, but I think it has good lines and it has these upholstered pieces. And I was thinking I could really give this a nice makeover and make it cute, and then I could put it on Etsy and see if anybody liked it. And as I was looking at it, I was like, it'd be cool to do a whole like bedroom set. And I've just done this little piece, little telephone table with like, I painted it white and then sanded the edges just to give it that kind of country French feeling. And I could do the same with this. I actually found a little pink phone that's on its way to go with this. It looks just like that, but it's pink. It's so cute. So I could put that together. And then I found this, which could be a lovely armoire. And I could put some things in there that would be fun. And a little side table. So I could do like a whole set. And then I was also thinking I could do a bench somewhere, maybe at the bottom of the bed here, to make a whole little set. I think that would be really cute. So because of this, I decided, of course, this needs to be my main fabric. And I think, let me put these out of the way. If I use the flowers on the main part of the bed, then it kind of will look like a different fabric maybe, or like, you know, it'll look coordinating but different. And then I'll use the same like viney parts on the headboard, use this area on the headboard. And then, let's see, this is the trim that I used on this one. I think that's great, but let me show you some other things. So I have this fabric, which I think is pretty. It's not exactly the same shade of pink, but I do like to mix my colors a bit, and when you throw things like that in there, then they work better. So maybe that's like, I don't know, maybe like the sheets of the bed. And then I have this yellow, which is a little deeper, which brings a little more depth to it, I think. Which I think this could be the ottoman. Let me also show you this. I've got so many things to show you. And then this. Now, again, this turquoise color, teal color, is not in the main fabric, but it's in this little trim that I think could bring it all together. I like the pop of teal in there. It gives it a little difference. I did pull out this limey green, which I think is also pretty, and it's not either of the shades of green in this. It's fresh, it's cute, and I have this trim as well, which is the turquoise, plus it has a little green in it. I don't know if you can see that, but that could also be cute. And hey, maybe it's just a pillow. I throw one pillow of the lime green in there. But anyway, for the ottoman, I also have fringes. I think I should do a fringed bottom. I really do like the yellow. Now, the pink is pretty, but maybe it's too soft with the yellow. I don't know. Deciding. And then I have a deeper turquoise, but I think this is maybe too much leaning into that, just letting this be like one pop of accent color. And maybe I do like a little lamp with this color on it on the bedside table, something like that. I do have this little piece of trim too, which could be here, and bring that color in. Just do the table white like this, and then add a little bit of teal around the edge, or even just putting this on it. Just something to snazz up the table, make it a little bit more. I'll also look through my nail decals and see if there's any like flowers or anything that I could use. Something like that. I do like the yellow better. And then I have this trim, which I like to layer on top of this long fringe, which that could be cute on the stool, ottoman, either with that, or see, this one really ties it together to have that little bit of pink in there. I really like that. I think that's pretty. Can you see that? You can see that. Have that little bit of pink in there. That ties that together. Yeah, that's good. And then I have some just plain, or not plain, but lace, which can be like the edges of sheets or things, just a little bit of softness in there. So that's the idea. What's the big idea? Well, that's the big idea. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? So today I'm going to focus on the bed and see if we can get that put together, okay? So I just wanted to kind of talk you through my design process. Okay, so I have the bed all taken apart, and now I'm going to give this a little sand on the edges so it'll match the telephone bench, like that. And then I'll upholster these guys and put them back together. You know what? I think I'm just gonna give this a coat of white paint, because I like my stuff to look good from all angles, and if you want to pick up the bed and see what's underneath, it'll be off-white too. Okay, so let me do that, and then I'll be back.
So I just loosely traced the headboard and footboard, and that'll give me enough to fold around the back when I upholster. Helpful tip here, I put masking tape on the front side of the fabric, the good side of the fabric, just to keep myself from smearing gluey fingers on it. Here are my pieces all laid out and ready to glue. Because of the way this bed was made, I was able to do this little trick. I used the bed as a frame to make sure my fabric was where I wanted it, and then I put spray glue on the panel and pushed it into the opening. And now I can lift the bed frame off, and the panel has the fabric perfectly centered. I make little snips all the way around the seam allowance, and that will make upholstering those corners and curves easier. Everything's all glued down now, and you can see I still have that masking tape protecting the good side of the fabric. To glue these panels inside that frame, I ran a bead of glue all the way around the edge, right at the edge of the bed, because when I press the other panel in, some of that glue will seep out and it'll be right in the middle of the frame, and I don't have to worry about it smearing to the front or the back side. Headboard, footboard, almost complete. Of course, I do want to add my trim. And this is a 1.5 millimeter braided cord for jewelry making. That's how I found it on Amazon. And they come in packs of 3 or 5 with multiple colors. So I bought a few, and it's really cool to mix and match them with different fabrics. It really surprises me every time, once I put the trim on, how it just really elevates the upholstery. Next, I added the lace all the way around the frame to serve as sort of a dust ruffle, but also to hide the ugly frame. I like having the back of the headboard upholstered as well, because maybe you want to have the bed in the middle of the room facing towards the windows. Who knows? The option is there. As it was, the mattress just sat on this frame with nothing supporting the middle, so I decided to add a cardboard frame, but I also put this wood-grained scrapbook paper on the bottom so that when I sign my name, it's kind of pretty. And speaking of the mattress, I decided to cover the mattress in this yellow fabric, and this yellow fabric is actually yellow denim from some pants that I got at the thrift store. This is actually one of my favorite tricks or tips. Look for the fabric for your miniatures in the thrift store. Pieces of clothing, they often have great patterns, good colors, and they're heavy-duty fabrics, and they're cheap. Usually you can get them on sale for about $3 a piece. I decided to make the top sheet this salmony pink color, which is also from a pair of pants, but I realized once I lay that down, I don't want to tuck it under the mattress because it's kind of tight. I can see some of that yellow mattress peeking through. So I just added more of the same fabric to the bottom edge of the mattress, which covers the end. Now there's no yellow peeking, but it was pointless because I did end up tucking the comforter down in between the mattress and the footboard. For the sheet, I just turned and ironed and then glued these edges down. I did it twice, but to tell you the truth, I got a little confused of where the lace would go when I turned the sheet back and blah, 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 blah. So Just try to figure out what you're doing. For my no-sew comforter, I cut out 2 large squares of the fabric, centering the bouquet of flowers on one side. I turned the edges again, and I laid a piece of batting inside there, and I folded the edges of the fabric over the batting to sort of hold it in place. Just so you can see, I roughly mitered the corners. The main thing is to just make sure that the 2 pieces of fabric are the same size so they'll line up when you glue them together. And once again, I add the trim. I just run a little bead of glue along that seam and then lay the trim down in there. And I put this masking tape on there just to keep it from pulling and falling off. And I let it dry completely before I pull the masking tape off. And you can see here too, where I've added the lace to the sheet. So the bed is looking very pretty, but I had an idea how to make it prettier. These are little resin nail charms that I got on Temu, and they're little pink roses. So I glued those to the headboard and the footboard using the shapes and curves as my guide as to where to place them. I did decide to glue everything down because nothing gives away the look of a miniature than fabric that defies gravity. I made a bolster out of this round foam that I got free as part of some packaging from a thing I ordered. I cut 2 circles of the aqua velvet and glued them to the ends. Then I wrapped it with a piece of batting, and then I glue hemmed another piece of fabric exactly the size of the bolster and wrapped it around and glued it in place. And once again, I added my trim to both ends. For the throw at the end of the bed, I did it exactly as I did the comforter, except I left out the batting. I lined the throw with the yellow floral fabric, and I edged it with the teal, turquoise, lime braided trim. I made little tassels for the armoire and the telephone table, and I may go ahead and add them to either end of this bolster. And here is the almost completed bed. I still want to add a pillow in front of the bolster to bring another pop of color right there. And just to remind you where we came from, this boring little cast-off became this beautiful bed. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. From the tiny Chateau Étoile, this is J-Star saying have a great day and keep making mini.